y'all. Hello and welcome to the 91st episode of the Yarn Junkie podcast. Welcome to all new and returning viewers. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Amber. I'm coming to you from my home in Texas, where I live with my husband, our 3 daughters, and many pets. You can just barely make out Lucy. I don't want to risk moving the camera, but Lucy, my Mastiff, is here just out of shot saying hello. And it's eerily quiet in my house today because I've turned off the fish tank and the heating system. It's so quiet. It's so crazy. I'm sure my 4-year-old will wake up and I'll have to stop this just for a second, but now that we have tech editing capabilities, we'll just cut that right out. So y'all leave a heart for my tech editor, my husband. So you can find me on all of the internet as Yarn Junkie. On Instagram, I am _Yarn Junkie, so be sure to go follow me there. And on Ravelry, I am Yarn Junkie 6, so you can see all of my projects there. And there's a Yarn Junkie podcast group that's dead, but I am trying to resurrect that soon. So if you haven't already subscribed, definitely subscribe. There's a lot of exciting things coming that I can't wait to share with you guys. And if you subscribe, then you know what's going on too. I'm gonna get rid of her right quick. So, oh, she already knows. She already knows. She was like, Mom said get rid of me. So I told y'all last time Tim and I were going on a trip to Florida, down to the Keys. We went to Key Largo. Oh, Lucy's gonna bark. Hopefully she doesn't. It was an amazing trip. It was a lot of fun. Just he and I went. We were gone for about 5-6 days total. And it was so relaxing, rejuvenating. We didn't really have a lot on the agenda. We just had an idea to go down there and check it out and relax for a few days. So the food that we had was amazing. One of the days we drove down to Key West, which is the southernmost point in the US. Definitely check it out. There was actually, hopefully, Lucy just gave me a high five. I'll have Tim insert the photo here, but there was a yarn bomb on the southernmost point in the US. So I took a picture with the yarn bomb. There was a crocheted lamp post there. So that was really cool to see as a crafter. And I also saw on our flight out, there was a little granny wearing a Baable hat that she had knit. The Baable Hat that was so popular a few years ago. I knit it. It was a colorwork sheep hat. I'll definitely link it below and try to insert the picture of the granny wearing her hat that I took like soothly in the airport. But yeah, we got a really cool car that we rented. We rented a Lamborghini Huracan and Tim drove that around. And it was a convertible. And I'm usually really good about sunscreen, okay? I'm usually dead on about sunscreen. But it was February. I was wearing like a sun shirt but long sleeves and a hat and glasses. Did not think about sunscreen the whole drive down to Key West, which is a pretty far drive from Key Largo. The top was down. It was warm. I was soaking up the vitamin D. I'm definitely someone that suffers from seasonal depression, and just going down there and being warm in the sunshine was so helpful. But I didn't think about sunscreen, and I got sunburned right here and right here on my neck from where the sun was hitting me most of the day. It was hilarious. But there was a lot of art galleries there. I was definitely inspired by color while we were there. We went into a lot of different art galleries and just took in the islands. It was a lot of fun. My FO, I did finish my, now that we can get to the knitting, 5 minutes in and a dog altercation. I finished my Rocket Tee by Tanis Fiber Arts. I don't have the first page, that's my pattern page, but it is finished. I will stand up so you can see it. It is a little more tight fitting than I would want, actually I could just scoot my chair back a little bit. There we go. Because I forgot. But my next one, I'm just gonna knit a bigger size. I've actually gained weight in the past year, which is great. I was kind of too skinny to begin with, which is a good problem to have, I'll admit, but until you're too skinny, then you know that it's not a problem that you want. But so it is a little more tight fitting than I would want. My next one's gonna be probably the small or medium size. This is like the extra small. I really, really love my yarn choice. I love the colors. I love that I chose the 2 stripes. That way it's like subtly see-through and you can't really tell it's see-through at all. Yeah, let me readjust. Okay. On my yarns, I've talked about this on each episode that I've shown this off, but now that I'm finished with it. On the mohair, I use Suburban Stitcher and the colorway Swamp. And on the sock yarn, I use Long Dog yarn in colorway Gingerbread. And I really loved the pairing of these 2 yarns together. I thought it was, if I can get it to focus, there we go, a really good match. And I wrote down my 19 grams of the mohair left and 35 grams of the sock yarn left. So this will definitely go great for heels and toes. And actually I have the yarn in mind. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. Probably just do something really cool with all my mohair scraps someday. But I love this pattern. As I've already said, I have another one planned already. I have the yarn planned for it. I showed you guys last time. And I did take those 2 projects apart and plan to start that probably for spring. I think it's a great thing to knit for spring. That way you have it for summer. I'm really bummed that I didn't finish it for the trip. I was so close. I just had to bind off one sleeve and then the collar, I think. But I was just like, I know I'm not gonna knit that much, so I'm just gonna leave it behind. And I did, and I instantly regretted it because just having this FO pictures in the tropical place that we were, our hotel was really cool. It was a resort that had just like trees and huge plants everywhere. I love plants, and like not to have this picture there, like finished object picture, kind of bums me out, but it's done now, so I'll get pictures of it. I did cast on. I mentioned last time that for me, casting on just helps so much with my anxiety. I know so much of our makers and podcasters talk about having anxiety issues or disorders and how making is really therapeutic for them. And it's so true for me too. And I really I know that I have so many whips now. I was being really mindful about this because for me, it's about the methodical process of starting that project, of finding, that pattern, going to get that great yarn, gathering up your tools, caking your yarn, and it's just so incredibly satisfying because you're creating and you're building something new that's unique to only you, because even if you got the same yarn as this other maker or she had a kit and a bunch of people got it, your stitches are still unique to you, your color arrangements are still unique to you, and it's something that's special to you. And I just get so much satisfaction from that. So I'm going to stop stressing over how many whips I have and know that everything will either get done eventually or ripped out and repurposed eventually. So I say cast on with abandon. You have my permission. So I cast on the Baable Cardigan by Stephen West. And honestly, I did the most prep I've ever done for this project. Like, I knit a swatch. I was really concerned about my color placements for my yarns I chose. I ended up switching out several yarns. I wrote down like all of my colors and the orders that I used them, or that I wanted to use them. That way I wouldn't get off track. I just put a lot of thought into creating this particular project, and I've enjoyed it a lot. So I'll show it and then I'll talk about my yarns. And Stephen West, can I just say, this pattern, while complex, I would say it's great for an adventurous beginner. You're just knitting and purling, and the increases are easy. Everything is so easy on it. Like, I didn't know how to do the bubble stitch. I didn't even look at his, I'm not sure if he has a video on it or not. I'm sure he does, because he always has videos to support all of his patterns. I just looked up how to do the bubble stitch before I even bought this, so I kind of knew how to do it because I knew I wanted to knit this pattern. But there is something that I will show you that I looked up of his I'm super excited about, and I'm sure y'all all think I'm late to the party on this. But I just can't say enough about his patterns. They're amazing. This construction is brilliant. Like, he's a genius. So this is the bubble cardigan. This is how far I am. I'll show you up close of my colors. I love it. Atrola says it looks like Neapolitan ice cream, which, okay, sure, maybe. You got the strawberry, the vanilla, and the chocolate in there, so for sure. But I love my colors. It's very, very cool. So the way you do this, I can't say too much, but you knit an I-cord, and then you do this section, the front, and then you do this front, and then now I've cast on for the back, and I'm working on the back now. It is just so cool, and this is where my little neck will go. That's a cardigan, and then these are going to be armholes, obviously. Boom. How cool is that? I just think that's so cool. So my yarns, I changed it a lot. So most of these I bought at McKinney Knittery for my birthday this past year with this cardigan in mind. And like I said, I did a swatch with some colors and pulled some colors that I bought and added others. So my first color is this Woolen Vine, I Am No Bird. And it's just like a taupey brown with multicolored speckles. And then my second color is also Woolen Vine in colorway Woolen Vine number 9. It's like a purpley, dusty mauve color, kind of berry. Then my third colorway is Madeline Tosh, and this is a singles tweed base. So it has the little neps, and it is colorway Antler. Let me see if I can get it to focus. One more try. There we go. Antler. And then my fourth colorway is this Labina May in colorway Nadia. It's a beautiful dusty pink with different speckles. I love that. And then my fourth color, and this is my main color, this is the color my collar and cuffs will also be. It's Madeline Tosh Kitten. And then my last colorway is also Madeline Tosh, and it's As Ever. And it's this gorgeous, like peach pink toned color with these different shots of speckles, yellow and kind of chocolate colors. I love my yarn choices. I chose singles. I'm pretty sure that's what he says in the pattern. And normally I'm not a fan of singles. I would have subbed this for sock yarn or something. I'm so glad I chose to go with the singles. It is so airy and light and squishy, and this project is just bringing me so much joy. It ticks all the boxes. It's super easy, repetitive, so the pattern is just you're basically knitting back and forth for so many rows, and then you're doing this special thing on one row. I love mindless patterns like that. You just want to knit one more stripe on these colorways, and now that I'm doing the back, it's much longer, and so I'm not changing colors as often. But even changing colors, you guys, oh my gosh, so this is the most exciting part. I know that I'm late to the party, but Weavin Steven, if you haven't checked out Weavin Steven yet, stop my video because it's worth it, and go and look up his technique on weaving in ends as you go. And if you've been doing this all along, like, why haven't you let the rest of us know that we could do this? I always knew crocheting your ends in was so easy for me, but I never knew, I couldn't wrap my brain around how you do it in knitting. And I watched a video. All of these ends are already woven in, you guys. I just have to go cut them. But they're not bothering me, and I think they're pretty, so I'm leaving them for now. My mind is blown. My mind is blown. I've been enjoying this project so much, and I don't even have to worry about weaving in ends when I'm done. It's ticking all those boxes, y'all. I cannot wait. I haven't even worked on this since we've been back from our trip, which is a shame. I've been knitting socks. So now that I've showed this off, I think I'm definitely going to pick this back up and work on this. That is that project. Tim kind of teased me because he called these my security blanket socks, because they went all around with us on our trip in Key Largo, but I probably knit maybe 4 rows on them the entire time we were gone. So this is showed y'all the finished one last time. This is Long Dog yarn in colorway Brave New World. And when we got back from Florida, I still had these on my Addy Flexi Flips, but I changed them over to DPNs just because I was enjoying those so much more, and I actually have made progress. So I am to the heel flap at this point, or I'm going to do the Fish Lips Kiss heel, but I just finished knitting down last night, so I'm ready for my heel. I do have my little lemon progress keeper from Sucre Miniatures on there. I love that. I always put that on all Tim's socks because he loves lemon drops, and yeah, that just makes me smile. But guys, can we talk about my love of DPNs right quick? Because hello, why did I ever stop using them in the first place? I enjoy them so much. They're so easy to knit with, and then also you get amazing, beautiful DPN holders just to add a little bit more charm to your project. Like, I love DPN holders. I have so many of these. I have like 8. I've been pulling them out of all of my secret stash spots, and I'm like, wow, why haven't I been using DPNs this whole time? Like, this one is from Molly Klein Designs. I love this fabric so much. I used to have a bag with it too, but I destashed a lot of my bags, so I don't have the bag anymore, but I regret it because I love that fabric. But I'm getting back on this project. It's a sock, so, you know, nothing special to write home about, but I'm just trying to get Tim more socks knit because he does like them and he is knit worthy, so sock knitting. I wrote, Tim made fun of me, LOL. Because he teased me about my socks. So I think I dyed this right before we left, and I should have grabbed the other skein that I dyed, but I didn't. But look, another DPN holder, little mushroom houses. DPNs, man, that's where it's at. I'm bringing DPNs back. Hashtag bringing DPNs back. So I was listening to Game of Thrones again. I've listened to the audiobooks before and watched the series. I'm trying to get Tim on watching the series. He's never seen it. And I was listening to that audiobook, and I was super inspired to do a Fire and Ice colorway. And then I was super inspired to cast on a sock straight away and knit down to a heel. But it's very subtly self-striping. I did like half the skein this burnt orange color and then half this sapphire kind of blue color. And with the magic of editing, I'm going to show you the other skein. I'm going to grab it right quick. Okay, so this is the other one that I dyed. So yeah, I just dyed half the skein this orange color and half this blue. I loved the way it turned out, and I had to like cast on a sock right away. So maybe that's the secret, is just to hand dye my own yarn to knit sock. I also dyed this when we got back from Key Largo, kind of Key Largo sunset inspired. And I want to make Ruby the little bunny BonBon. I think it's by Susan Claudino, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to make her a little bunny with this, and I can't wait. I have just enough yardage, I think, to make that. So super excited about the Fire and Ice and the bunny yarn. Other acquisitions, I got this amazing book. I'm so excited about it. I was going to order it from this yarn shop that I follow, but then they were out of stock, so I just picked it up on Amazon. Guiltily support your mass production Amazon. But Mystical Stitches, it's all about embroidery, and it's just these like very interesting motifs, very modern, but Atrella's already kind of flipped through it and is like, wow, she loves them. But yeah, very like nature inspired, and I just really love even just having it as a picture book. But I have some summer projects planned. Hopefully I'll pick up my embroidery hoop again and get some things stitched. So I really enjoyed embroidering. It was either last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember. But I picked this up for inspiration either way. I'm super excited about it. I got the wooden needles that I showed you on my sock, and I ordered another pair. And these are the cubics. I was watching Naughty Knitwits, Michelle, talk about the cubics are supposed to be good for like wrist pain or hand pain when you're knitting. And I've definitely been experiencing that, especially on smaller circumferences like socks. And that's probably why I've kind of like backed off knitting socks a lot. It's just because it causes me wrist pain. I did notice a difference with these. They feel like knitting with toothpicks, to be honest. I'm scared I'm gonna rage smash them in half. But I've enjoyed them, and they did cause me that whole sock that I knit of the Fire and Ice. What did I do with it? Here it is. I knit this in like 2 sittings, which is crazy for me. I don't knit socks generally that fast or have an interest in sitting down and doing it that long. And it was definitely the tools for me that did it on that sock. And I ordered a size 5 fixed circular in the wooden cubics too. I'm not sure. I don't know about wood. I'll have to knit a project with them. I haven't even tried them yet. So, and then while we were in Key Largo, we went to a yarn store. It wasn't in Key Largo. It was actually in Miami. She was such a nice lady to talk to. She was showing me all of the projects and stuff. She knits with a lot of cotton yarn. Of course, she's in that climate. I just didn't really have a wide interest in that. Yeah, I ended up getting 2 skeins of yarn. I picked up this Hedgehog Fibers yarn in colorway Construct. It's just a dusty, purpley, mauve color, gray, kind of purpley gray, with shots of speckles throughout. And then I got this Malabrigo in water green, which this is Key Largo mint, okay? There's so many buildings and houses that are this color, and I was very inspired when I saw it in the yarn store. I knew it had to come home. And I was going to knit a Trella. I'll talk about this one right quick too. She didn't have enough change. We paid cash, and she was just like, grab another skein of yarn. And so I picked up this skein of hedgehog prints, or heritage prints, sorry. Cascade Yarns heritage prints. I've knit with this before. I love this yarn. It's a pretty inexpensive sock yarn, to be honest. I think it usually retails for about $13, $14. I don't have a sticker price on this, but it washes well, wears well. Colorway 24. I definitely recommend getting some of this yarn. But when I originally picked up this, right before we left, Trella actually showed interest in me knitting her something. She showed me a picture of like a crop. I think my camera got off once I got up and fixed it. That's better, I sat on the edge. She showed me a picture of a crop top that was knit, and then it had some embroidery on it. So I originally picked this up thinking she'd love this. And I believe it's a free pattern. I wrote on here free pattern. This isn't one that I bought. But it is just this cute little summer crop that will be super amazing for any teen in your life. But, or yourself, if you're into wearing crops. I can't pull them off. But I originally, so this is acquisitions too. I originally bought 4 skeins of this Felici yarn. I used to love to buy them out of all their colorways, but Felici yarn honestly isn't my favorite for wash and wear. I don't feel like it washes machine. I put all of my socks in the machine, you guys. I know I'm terrible. I don't separate them into like a delicate bag. I do nothing. I just put them in, chunk them in with anything. So they don't last forever. But that's okay because I like knitting socks. Then no socks last forever is my kind of justification on that. Felici is probably the one that doesn't fare as well as the others. Even like nicer hand-dyed yarn does a lot better than Felici. But I still love it. I still love their colorways. So I try to limit myself on like one that I absolutely can't live without. And for this rendition of their colorways, I had to have this one. It's very like Southwest colorway. There's brown and red and rust and this beautiful like mint blue and yellow. So this is the colorway Rustic Cabin. I originally got 4 skeins to make me and Tim matching socks for our like cabin adventures in New Mexico, and these were going to be our Christmas socks. But I can still make him socks, and then I have the yardage. Trella really wanted, I was showing her other people's summer crops on Ravelry, and she really wanted a stripy one. I don't want to change yarns that much. I don't want to make it scrappy. So I thought, I've never done a self-striping sock yarn in a pattern before. I want to see how it turns out. I've done a sock head hat and it was really cute, so I know this will be much smaller stripes, but I think it will look really good as that summer crop. So that's what this will be. I also, when I ordered that Felici, got Swish because Kay from Crazy Sock Lady totally enabled me to buy this. She uses this a lot, and actually this is what I would consider her signature colorway. She buys this Dove Gray Heather a lot. Dove Heather is what it's called. It's Swish DK weight, 100% fine superwash merino wool. It's super soft. I haven't actually knit with it yet, so once I do, you will know my opinion of it, but I'm excited to try it. I only got 3 skeins that way. I'm not too committed to it, but yeah, I'm excited to test it out and try it. I also got Knit Picks Aloft in these 2 crazy colors. Love them. So this is their mohair. It's 260 yards, 25 grams, and it's 72% silk mohair, or I'm sorry, 72% mohair and 28% silk. But I don't really have a plan for these yet, but once I got this one, another gorgeous pink yarn shot out from the stash at me, so it'll probably be something for one of my kids with that pink yarn. I also bought, when I ordered those needles from Webs, I couldn't help myself because I actually went on there to buy needles in this row counter. The Cocoa Knits row counter. I can't believe I've lived all my knitting life without one of these. Go get one. You definitely need one. But I ordered this gorgeous yarn to go with the needles that I ordered, and I cannot wait to cast this on, but I'm making myself finish some sock projects as motivation before I begin this. But I think that's all I have to show you guys. Let me check my notes. Definitely, I got it all out, just a few starts and stops and noises and interruptions from the dogs. Sorry about that. But I knew I was going to forget, but I forgot to draw the name this morning for the winner of the sock blank. So if you watched the last episode and entered in to win the sock blank, I have not drawn for that winner yet, but I will get that done today and leave you a comment on the last episode saying that you won. As always, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I cannot wait to sit down and show you what I've been working on the next episode. If you, like I said, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because I have a lot of really exciting things coming and I can't wait to show them and share them with you. Sorry about the earthquake. My dog shook and everything did too. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.